Here it is, part 2, 2008 Saturn Vue. If you missed part 1, go back and watch it. Multiple codes, multiple symptoms, multiple complaints. Where do we start? Where do we finish? Stay tuned. Hello, Sam from Tool Hut here. Today's victim is the same victim as the last video. It's a 2008 Saturn Vue. Has multiple complaints, multiple codes. Was towed into my facility from after another shop had done a bunch of work on it. It's been to multiple shops. One of the shops did not do anything to it. They just knew it was over their head and referred them to me. So if you didn't see the first video, I'll leave a link in the description. Tool Hut has all of your drivability type equipment. We offer training and support on all of our equipment. If you're local, we do it on site. If not, we do it via the luxuries of the internet. So the complaints or symptoms or whatever you want to call them with the vehicle when it showed up to my facility was that the remotes don't work since the shop put a body control module in it. Multiple lights on the dash. It's got ABS light on the dash. It's got airbag light on the dash. She says none of this was there previously. It was towed to my facility because she said it won't move. I was kind of surprised at this, but it would not hardly move across the driveway. So I had extreme concerns that it was going to need a transmission. But I wanted to fix the communication problems that we've repaired in the first video. So, and the other complaint is it shifts hard into drive, and we all know that this is kind of a symptom of GM vehicles when they lose communication. Seems like they ramp the line pressure up. So this one I wasn't overly concerned with, but at the same time, the will not move was kind of a concern of mine. The other facility, after they did the body control module, I thought it was interesting that they had this disclaimer at the bottom that prior issues hid issues with the passenger presence module, so now there's only one code in the airbag for the passenger presence. That's the passenger presence erratic code. So I have cleaned up the connections. We essentially cut about 3 inches back both directions of that entire harness in the first video, and we soldered and shrink wrapped all of the wires in there. One of the first things I like to do is just check the codes after a repair like this and see what we end up with for codes. I am speeding you through this process a little bit because it's just a matter of watching the scanner work. I've showed you all the steps. I just sped it through the process a little bit here. So we've ended up with 5 codes. Got our passenger presence erratic. A couple codes for no communication with the remote function actuator. So let's go after this passenger presence erratic code. So we're going to do the preload of the passenger presence system. It does pass the procedure, which is good news for us. Let's just read the code in it. It's still got the code, so we're going to clear it. It does show it's passed. The light on the dash is off. So let's move on. The other shop put a body control module in it. So what I want to do now is I want to go to ACDelco. I want to log in, and I want to verify that the body control module is properly programmed. Again, I've sped you through this process. It's not super exciting, so the 2008 Saturn Vue. Hopefully you know that by now. So we're just going to go into the body control module like we're replacing it. We're going to look at the calibration numbers. The calibration numbers are correct. So let's just move on from here. Looks like they did program it. They did charge her to program it. So the remote control door lock receiver is our next project because the remotes don't work. So what you have to do here, it's got a bunch of part numbers that I want you to go to. And you have to go to the remote function actuator on the truck. Well, the challenge with this one is on the Saturn, there is no remote control door lock receiver in the module list. So we have to tell it it's a Captiva Sport. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? So the end model part number is not on the list. It's never on the list. Don't be concerned. Anytime you got a list like this, the object is going to be to get the module to program. So I'm just going to pick one. I'm going to keep going. I get a couple of errors going through the process. I do get it to go properly. Make sure you've chosen the right selection. I do have tire pressure light and remote start, so make sure you pick the right calibration number. Now, going through the list, I have selected a couple before I got to it, but here I've picked the right number. It's going to let me program it with this number here. So once we have programmed the module, the next step is to program the remotes. So we have to tell the Tech 2N again that it's Captiva Sport in order to be able to program the remotes. Once we tell it it's Captiva Sport, we go into the module setup and we do the program the remotes, and it is successful. Programming both remotes, and both remotes now work. So it's a little bit of amazing, I guess, when you think about it. So there's another shop, they couldn't get this part done. Now the remotes work and our airbag light is off. So the next thing I want to do is, since I have a ABS light on the dash and I've had trouble with it communicating, I just want to see if there's an update for this EBCM. And I'm going to program it. And yes, there is an update, so let's go ahead and update it with the latest calibration. And I will tell you after programming that the airbag light, or the ABS light, went off as well. So now we're at the end of this, where the remotes work, the transmission works on our test drive. No ABS light, no airbag light. I do not have communication with the rear differential module at this point. I do have a module ordered because I've confirmed it's got power and ground and ability to communicate. We're going to do that in another video. I also have an intermittent, as you're going around a corner, the traction control light comes on during my test drive, I've discovered. So we're going to cover this in a later video as well. The good news is, well, I don't know if it's good news or not, but I have purchased the vehicle from the person. So it's going to be my son's vehicle. So you're probably going to see it in some future videos. I don't think there's anything major wrong with this car. I think that the shop that was working on it caused most of the problems, or their lack of ability, lack of looking around the vehicle, visual inspection is the reason that this customer had so many problems. They did purchase another car. It's just kind of unfortunate, if you ask me, because this person purchased another vehicle based on $1,900 worth of repair at one facility, $1,600 for the repairs at another facility, neither of which fixed the vehicle. They had to have the vehicle towed to my facility, I did what I would have considered a minor repair. It was kind of intrusive, but at the same time, this wasn't rocket science in my opinion. The scope led me in the direction that I had a problem. I guess some common sense because I went after the module that wouldn't communicate. So I guess I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Um, what you think. The other shop, one of the other shops, had a recommendation for remote function actuator and a passenger seat. Neither of which would have fixed this vehicle, I'm sure. I don't know if the body control module really needed to be replaced, or if the transmission control module really needed to be replaced, but that's out of my hands at this point. It's done. Stay tuned for future videos. We do have a Facebook page, Tool Hut USA, so follow us there too. Subscribe if you want to be notified as we're putting up new videos. Comment, suggestions, thumbs up, thumbs downs. I'm good with it all. I'm not easily offended, so I'd like to hear what you got to say. Thanks for watching.